Welcome to my video. If you have hooded eyes and feel like eyeshadow always gets lost and disappears right in your crease the second you open your eyes, then this video is for you. Grab one of your favorite fluffy brushes that is great for blending, and let's get started. After applying concealer to my lids, I always go in with a light matte eyeshadow to set everything in place. This step is really important, especially if you have hooded eyes, because it prevents creasing and gives the rest of the shadow something smooth to blend into. Think of like a clean canvas before you start painting. So I'm gently pressing this shade all over the lid from the lash line up just below my eyebrows, smoothing everything out, nothing heavy at all, just enough. This also creates a clean base, so any eyeshadows we layer on top won't skip, won't bunch up, or disappear throughout the day. Then moving on to a transition shade, I'm going in with a warmer tone from the palette. Warm shades are great for hooded eyes because they add soft dimension without making the eyes look heavy, which is what we're trying to avoid. So instead of placing this directly in my crease, I'm sweeping it slightly above the crease. When my eyes are open, I still want to see that warmth peeking through. That's what creates a more lifted, open look. I'm using light windshield wiper motions and building the color slowly, keeping everything diffused and blended upward rather than dragging it down. This step is really about creating that soft gradient and setting the shape for the rest of the eye look. Quick tip when you're blending, try holding your brush closer to the end of the handle instead of right up by the bristles. This is gonna help keep your pressure really light so the shadow blends out softly instead of going on too harsh or muddy. Especially for hooded eyes, a lighter grip helps everything lifted and diffused. Now to add a little bit more dimension and depth, I'm going in with the shade MM7. This shade is perfect because it adds definition without overpowering the eye. I'm focusing this just on the outer corner, placing it slightly above the crease and blending it outward rather than inward. For hooded eyes especially, this placement is key. It keeps the eye looking lifted and prevents the lid from looking heavy or closed off. So I'm using a light hand and building the color slowly, letting the depth sit exactly where we want it, then softly blending the edges so it melts seamlessly into that warmer transition shade. I'm using the MAC 217 brush for this step because it's the perfect shape for adding depth in the corner, for the outer corner. The bristles are fluffy but still controlled, so it places the color right where I want it and blends it out at the same time. With that being said, I am also going in with the N17 BK Beauty brush. This one I really do like a lot because it just blends out the eyeshadow so much more. So that is what I'm doing. I put down the other brush and now I'm just focusing on diffusing the lines a little bit more. Not going in with anything else right now, but I'm just focusing on taking out any harsh lines using the N13 brush. Now I'm going in with the MM9 shade, and for this particular shade I am using it on my eyelid, my mobile lid. So this one here I am pretty much using all over the lid except for the inner crease of my eyes. And the reason why I'm using this is because I wanted to and I really like this color. So, and it's just gonna also just tie into everything else that I'm doing for the hooded eyes. So yes, I am using the MAC brush again, the 217, because I had it on hand, but I am lightly blending that inward on my eyelid, and again, not going deep into the crease. So excuse me while I just simply do the other eye and catch up on my makeup look. Before moving on, it's always a good idea to pause and evaluate your eyeshadow. I like to look straight ahead into a mirror and make sure both eyes look even and everything is blending smoothly as a whole. This is especially important for hooded eyes because small differences in placement can show up more once your eyes are open. Taking a moment here lets you soften any edges, balance the depth, and make sure the look feels lifted and seamless before adding anything else. And so this is what I'm doing right now actually, is I am just blending out one eye a little bit more than the other because it needed it. So yeah, taking your time and just making sure everything is soft will definitely be worth it for those hooded eyes. One thing I am going to mention is when you are applying makeup, whether it's your eyes, face, whatever it may be, find a really good room to do your makeup. Try doing your makeup in a bright area where the sun is just giving you all the light that you need. Now I'm going in with shade MM11 and I'm using this as a base for a soft smudged eyeliner look before applying an actual eyeliner pencil. I'm pressing the shade right along the upper lash line, keeping it thin and really close to the lashes. This creates a soft shadow base that adds definition without the harshness of a sharp liner, which is ideal for hooded eyes. Using an eyeshadow first also helps guide where the liner will go. So when I lay the pencil on top, it blends more seamless and looks softer and more lived in instead of it being too tense. Now I'm going in with an eyeliner pencil and I'm tracing it right along the lash line, following the soft shape we just created with the MM11 eyeshadow. Because we already laid down the shadow, I don't need to be super precise here. I'm keeping the liner thin and close to the lashes, focusing more on definition than a sharp line. This helps keep hooded eyes looking lifted and not heavy. So before the liner sets, I'm taking a small smudge brush and gently blending it into the eyeshadow. I'm using short, soft motions, keeping everything close to the lash line so it stays smoky but still very clean. This technique gives you that soft, lived-in eyeliner look that enhances the eyes without overpowering them. Now just a quick, simple cleanup using my fingers. Now again, I'm using my eyeliner pencil for my lower lash line. Again, does not have to be perfect because we are going to smudge this out. So I'm just going from the corner to the inner corner and then taking my pencil brush, and just smudging that all out. Now make sure you get the outer end of your eyelash and upper lash line connected with the eyeliner. That part is very important here. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of the eyeshadow. So right now what I'm doing, now that I am done with the eyes, particularly the eyeshadow, I am just blending out anything because I did make a little smudge with the eyeshadow eyeliner, and so I'm just buffing it out, disappearing it away, erasing it away. And now I'm moving on to my eyelashes. So I love curling my eyelashes. It makes such a huge difference for me because my eyelashes are poker straight and short. So doing this step right here is crucial for me personally, and if you have hooded eyes, because it's just going to give you that extra lift for your overall eye look. So now I'm using a primer before putting on mascara, and the primer, honestly, you don't have to do this. For me, it's been a new thing that I've been doing and I personally love it. So I'm going in, priming it. This is just gonna condition my eyelashes, coat them before going in with the eye mascara. And that's what I'm doing right now, as you can tell. Now for this part, it is nice to just kind of take your time working the mascara into your eyelashes, making sure there's no clumps. So what I like to do is kind of just wipe off any of the extra mascara onto the bottle from the brush, if that makes sense. Just wiping any extra product from the brush onto the bottle and just slowly working the mascara onto the lashes. I don't know if any of you guys do this, but just when you think you're done with your eyeshadow, you see something that kind of just shimmers at you and you have to apply it. So that's what I did. I promise this is the end of the eyeshadow look. I just want to go in and add a little shimmer because with hooded eyes, that makes all of the difference too as well. The shimmer kind of just blurs and diffuses the hooded eyes, if that makes sense. Not that I'm putting it on the crease or anything, I'm putting it on my mobile lid, but it still does make a difference when you add this. So of course, not only on top of my lid, but also on the inner corners, the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on the Cupid's bow of my lip. Promise, this is it. I am done. All right, everyone, that is the finished look. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. There's anything that you would do different or anything that you have questions about, please leave them in the comments below and I will reply to you. So with that being said, take care and enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Bye.